There.
Anybody on?
Hey, yeah. 5.
I got a t-shirt and I can't plug it anywhere. Let's see him behind the scenes stuff.
Again.
Yeah. Running your microphone up your t-shirt, find someplace to hook it. Darn, I can't even see. Better use the camera as a mirror. There we go. I think that's it. No, that's not it either. The heck? I'm starting to get upset.
Hey, Kevin.
That's good enough.
Elizabeth.
You guys remember this?
John?
You guys remember this t-shirt? This is antique. This is the very first set of t-shirts we sold years ago. Years ago.
And this one is it? Oh, okay. I couldn't remember. Okay.
Oh.
Tammy, Rosemary.
Run a little bit late, I think. Sue woke me up at 11:30 because I was up till late last night. We are so busy right now between working on the camper, getting things done on the camper, getting ready to go on this trip, and forgetting things. I got to go back over. There's one thing none of this is major right now, but I would like to do it before I leave. And then also, what was we doing? What else was we doing? Oh, she got to buy groceries and stuff. We got to put in the camper. But I don't want to do that right away because I got to start the refrigerator. On RVs, campers refrigerators might take 24 to 48 hours before they'll actually cool down.
Yeah, and we have to get the closet ready for Jeremy.
Oh yeah, and Jeremy stopped by yesterday. We decided we're going to do our closet too, and he brought us some equipment to use. And so to speed the process along, because he's wanting to come in Monday and start do this closet thing. Well, next Wednesday is Wednesday Night Live. So I told him, I said, if you can do it in one day or something, I said, because usually on Tuesday, the day before Wednesday Night Live, I'm in there finalizing everything, to getting pictures uploaded and downloaded and talking to everybody and getting things ready to go. And this is going to be a big show this month because we have a very special guest. I'm not going to tell you who it is yet, but I was lucky, I think, to get this person as a guest. He's so busy also that we can't do it live, but we did a live recording with the whole crew, and we'll do it in segments on the show so you can see it.
Yeah, it's fun. You'll like it.
And what else did we? What else did we have to do? Some other stuff. I don't even know what all we had to do. All I know
it's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, she woke me up at 11:30, and she said it's 11:30, and I said so. She said, "Well, when's you got to do the porch setting?" What's this?
Oh, well, now you know.
98.5.
Okay. Kevin's closing at 1 o'clock today.
Huh?
Kevin's closing's at 1 o'clock today.
Kevin who?
Kevin Jacks.
Who?
Kevin Jacks. He's closing on his house
that's
at
3 or
1.
4 Kevins.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
what Kevin you're talking about.
Okay, well, that's
today.
Yep. So he said.
I thought he told me he wasn't going to close until.
No, they're not going to be down here.
Oh,
they're closing, but they're not going to be down here.
Okay. Make sure you got plenty of ink in your printer. That's what they told me anyway. I don't know if that's true nowadays. It may have changed things nowadays, but.
Oh, I don't think so. They drive you crazy with paperwork regardless.
Yeah.
Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Alan Eisen says hello from Michigan. Well, hello, Michigan. We're having a beautiful day here. I mean, this is nice breeze going through. This is a day to open all the windows and air things out. just one of those kind of days.
Yeah, let me turn this around so you can kind of see what we're looking at here, if I can. I know it's always the same view, ain't it? It's this way. That house over there, that car you see parked in the driveway, kind of funny. That's a real estate lady. They're showing the house today. They had a showing the other day. Let me turn this way so you can see down the road that way. Yeah. Turn this thing back around. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Laura.
Are we both in the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And Kelly says she loves the view. Well, we do too.
Love what?
The view.
We don't really have much of a view other than the houses across the street,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
It's not like, we're on a golf course or anything, but
Yeah. Linda's got a great view in her lanai.
she does.
She overlooks the putting green on one of them golf courses down there. I don't even know which one.
Mm-hmm.
So she doesn't have to worry about anybody building a house behind her. It's a golf course. And she's got the, I think you call them verandas, I think.
No.
Huh?
No, she's not.
What she got?
It's a villa, but I can't remember the
No,
name of
I
it.
thought the verandas was what do we got?
A designer.
A designer with a fence.
They are.
And that's not what she's got?
No, she has.
I don't know what she has.
She has a villa. I think she has.
All I know is she's got a great view from the lanai, and she's got a good sized lanai, which I always recommend get the biggest that you can afford, because you'll use it. And I think she told me that she uses her lanai since she's moved in full time now, almost practically every night.
Yes.
Her and the dogs and Frank go out there and drink wine and look over the golf course. Sometimes there's players. Usually around 8 or 9 o'clock, though, they disappear because it starts getting dark and they disappear.
But you can watch them throw their clubs.
Well, that's a putting green, so they don't get mad at that. They get mad at the tee boxes. That's where the clubs get thrown and broke.
Oh,
and yes, ladies, 70-year-old men still do that.
Yes. Oh, and Laura, I'm glad you caught us too. How's the weather up there? I'm almost afraid to ask because she's up by Chicago. She's up where Mikey lives.
Probably cold up there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I saw a thing on the news last night, but I don't know how old it was. But I thought they were talking about this storm this week going through, but it's going to go through pretty quick, even here. The temperature's supposed to drop like this Friday and Saturday.
Always on the weekend for some odd reason.
And then I think it's supposed to start climbing back up again on Sunday. Right now, this time of year, our weather pretty much hangs around 75 to low 80s. Today, I don't know what it is.
And it's supposed to be 81, I think, supposed to be the high. So
our highs are usually between 3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, and the weatherman lies to you. They're so used to good weather, they just check this off as a good day, But it is nice out here today, and then nice. The temperature goes down for the weekend again, but not a lot. I think 60s and 70s. So that's doable.
I don't know what the temperature was last night, but I got up and turned the heat on. I don't know.
You did?
Yeah, some nights I go to bed and I just got to chill. I just can't get rid of it. I turned the heat on, 75. 75 degrees as high as I went, and then I fell asleep. And when I get up this morning, guess what I did? I turned the air conditioner back on.
I was going to say, it was 55 when I walked this morning, so it was climbing up there. So, let's see. Well, Pirate Harry says that he lives in northeast Pennsylvania, and it's 58 today. Elizabeth says 41. And Laura says weather in Chicago, all the snow is gone. 42 degrees today. 1 to 4 inches of snow tomorrow. Back to 42 by Saturday. Well, this time of year.
Yeah.
And that's what you expect there. So
we always got seemed like every year in Indiana anyway. It just seemed like it was just a ritual. Everybody thought spring is coming. You walk out and you see your lilies starting to pop up in the ground. Or
Yeah.
crocuses.
Crocuses.
Crocuses start popping up sometimes through the snow. That's the first flowering thing we had in our house anyway. Then after that, you got your Easter lilies. That's what we called them. Easter lilies would start popping up. The tulips would start picking their way through the ground. You think, boy, spring is sprung. This is it. Then basketball sectional, where the last two teams are playing for the state championship. And we get that last minute snowstorm. Sometimes they're not much, 2 inches of snow, and then it melts off the very next day. But we always get that last minute snow, it seems like, right around basketball sectional time.
Yeah. Everybody always talks about that. I never paid that much attention, but that's kind of the last hurrah for winter. It doesn't get warm.
I used to
But
pay
I mean-
attention to it because when I was driving for UPS, I knew I had to work. I always looked to see what day of the week the basketball sectional thing was going to happen, because I knew that the odds are I was going to drive in some snow sometime that day, going or coming. Or should I call in and tell them I'm sick?
You never did.
I never did.
As I kept telling you to, but you never did. Yeah. And Dell, oh my, 12 with snow and winds feels like 7 below in Colorado Springs.
Maybe that's a storm that's getting ready to hit.
Yeah, I think so.
That's
Yeah.
the one they might have been talking about. So don't feel bad, because that storm is moving pretty quick, and it'll be in Chicago in no time.
Wrestler. Oh my. 49 degrees in Massachusetts, and Brian Koch is from Fort Myers. So you can tell how nice this weather is too, can't you? I don't know if they're getting the wind over there that we're getting, but
We're not getting a lot of wind.
no, it's not bad because the awning's staying in. It goes in at 25, isn't it 25 mile an hour winds?
Whatever shakes that corner right there, where that little level thing is right there, if that gets out of level, it'll automatically go back in.
Okay. Well, it's staying out, so. Daffodils were coming up last month in Pittsburgh. Really? Well, I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that this wasn't a bad winter, that they had a couple storms come through, but they were just hit and were gone. Let's see. Hey, Grandpa Eric. And Laura says, yeah, they haven't had that much snow this winter, about 14 inches at O'Hare so far. That's a lot. Karen Ballers is 37 right now, and we're supposed to get 6 inches of snow tonight. Oh, honey.
Where she live?
Where are you at, Karen? That's because
They probably told us half a dozen times, but we can't remember.
Yeah. And the Wrestler says it's unseasonably warm there. It's
Well,
low 60s.
you hang on there, good buddy. It's heading your way.
Oh,
I don't have a notification that I'm on live.
you don't?
No, and that's really unusual for me. I usually get them all. Look, see, there's my email. Nothing.
I don't know.
So,
Oh, she says it's supposed to start snowing around 3 p.m. in Omaha, so that must be where she's at. Is the internet acting up? I don't think so.
who, ours?
Yeah,
No, it's just I didn't get notified.
Oh,
I usually get notified all the time when everybody else says they don't get notified. I usually check, make sure you're subscribed, but I don't have to be subscribed. It's my channel. I always get, and I didn't get notified.
oh my. Kevin, we're having really good luck with this change with the internet so far. I'm really pleased. I am, and I wasn't going to change. I don't like change, and usually it's a mistake when you do.
It's just a hardship, because when you change like your internet, as everybody probably already knows, I always put that off. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, because I know what that means. It's just like if you get a new cell phone and they ask you if you want a new number or keep your old number, and you might be thinking about getting a new number for whatever reason. Do you know what kind of problems that is going to cause you to get a new number? If you don't, then think about it really hard before you do it. So I don't like changing things, but I was frustrated, and this here is going to save us about, gosh, from what I'm seeing, at least $70 a month. That's significant for me.
Yeah.
And he, because of the service, I mean, I took advantage of it. I mean, I've done this before, and I know it's kind of like when you get your RV in a shop, finally. While it's in there, if you've got anything else that you want done other than the thing you put it in there for, you go ahead and do it now while it's in there. I don't care if it's going to cost you a lot of extra, because if you don't do it now, the time that you need to have that done, you may be waiting 6 and 8 weeks once again just to get in
Yeah.
there. So the thing with this was it's all about passwords and to get on, and everything you got has to be connected by password. And so he was here in the neighborhood. I knew he was going to be here for, I think he said about a month. And so he gave me his personal cell phone. And let me just say, I took advantage of it. I called him. Said, hey, I can't get this to work. This don't work. He came right over to the house when he was done doing what he was doing. He come in there with his little iPad and click, 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 snap, 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 and there you go. And so, yeah, I took advantage of it. But if
Yeah.
I have to do it again, uh, that's the problem. It's always about passwords and getting things set up so everything connects automatically. So when you turn your computer on, it automatically sets up. Well, with the new Wi-Fi, it don't, because it doesn't recognize it. And that's the problem I have, is all that.
But even with that, like I said, I don't like to change because, like I said, and it seems like if they play with you, 2 years with this company, and then the next company has something better, and then 2 years with that company, and it falls down, and you have to go to something better. And I got tired of doing that, so I stayed with what I had, and I wasn't crazy about changing this time. He talked me into it because I'm kind of funny about that kind of stuff. I pay the bills, so
$70 a month.
actually it was 105 with what
So,
we
and
had,
this is 40.
and this is 49 altogether. That's
Oh,
with paying for their modem. So that's
that's right. We had to pay for our modem.
half price. So
Yeah.
couldn't be beat. And I was really worried because the reason I changed to start with was because their stuff wasn't any good. So I went back to
No, when it
Xfinity.
was Bright House, we never had a problem with Bright House.
Yeah.
But when Spectrum took over, and he admitted it when he was in here, I told him, I said, the reason why I never went back to Spectrum, I said, because when they bought Bright House, and he said, oh, yeah, he said, they had the equipment thing, they were doing this and doing that. He said, we lost, what do you say? Anyway, they lost a significant amount of customers just here in the villages.
Yeah.
And with the expansion going on, they had a lot of problems. And apparently, that's all I can really say right now, is they did a big system update with new equipment, new stuff, probably because of the expansion going on here. And they've changed everything, and they're trying to get these customers back. And the best way to get an American back is to buy us off. And that's what they do. Normally it's $100 a month. We're going to let you have it for $50 a month. If you do this.
And that's an introductory price, and then in a year you have to
2 years.
2 years. Okay,
Yeah.
right. It's that way with everything, with the phone,
And he
with
told us that.
TV.
He said after the end of 2 years, he said, play the game. He said, then you can go somewhere else if you want and negotiate a better price, and they'll give you something for 2 years, and then at the end of that 2 years, come back.
Yeah, and
I don't like playing that game.
I'm already getting the stuff from the other one. So, hey, Joy, did you love your cruise? Where did y'all go? It just sounds like this would be a good time of year for that, really. And they've been on a cruise, so they just got back.
Last cruise we were on, and I don't know, I'm not a cruise director or anything like that, but there's a group here that they set up their own cruise. Somebody that lived in their neighborhood was a travel director or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess she or her company, how it works is they buy, like, say, 100 rooms on a boat, and then they turn around and then they sell them to people like us, and that's how she makes a little bit of money. So they called us and asked if we'd like to go on a cruise, and I already told them like a year earlier. I said, yes, I like to do a cruise, but I don't want to go by myself because I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm afraid I'd get lost trying to find the boat. So they said, well, we're all going to go if you want to go. And so, yeah, we went. And it was when what was the name of the boat? The name of it.
Harmony,
Yeah. And what's the name of the company?
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean. And I guess the Harmony ship was new at that time. When we got on there, I think we were actually the second crew people that actually took a trip.
Yeah.
And they said the first people that took the trip, where the boat was built, was overseas somewhere in Greece or wherever it was built over there. They sold tickets on that boat. I keep calling it a boat. They hate that. It's a ship.
That's a boat.
And when they brought it to the United States, those people got off that ship knowing they wasn't going to get back on that ship to go back. They just got a one-way thing to come here on a vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then we got on that ship after they got off. And, you know, out of 9 good things about the ship, there's one bad thing, you know, and that's how I could pick it out. And the bad thing for me was there was so many people on this ship. I think just the passengers was over 6,000. And they told us that there was like 2,500 crew members, cooks and clean and mechanics and whatever. And then that don't include the entertainment that's on the boat ship. The ice skaters, because there's an ice skating rink in there where they put on a thing, and then there's comedians. There's I don't even know. There was just entertainment everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's my only complaint was that, because when you went to go to the elevator to go to lunch, let's say, and you wanted to go to the restaurant, not the buffet, you had to sometimes wait in line to get in the elevators. And I didn't particularly like that, you know, standing in line. So we used the stairways a lot because they were good.
Yeah.
But now, as we get older, I'm not sure the stairways is a good selection for us. So that's my thing is that.
When they've got, I said the neighborhood went on a cruise last month, and they were on the Wonder of the Seas, which that was a newer ship, and they've got another one coming out now that's even bigger than that. So they just keep getting bigger and bigger.
It's just it's a fight. It's a thing between the companies. You know, what is it? Carnival's another one. And we had a friend back here that he was a diamond. I want to say a diamond club member of not Carnival, Royal Caribbean. And so he knew a lot about it. He had passes to go to special places that only diamond members could go to.
Yeah.
And he was telling us that one ship was only 1 inch longer than the other ship. They added something on the front of the boat to make it 1 inch longer so they could say, we have the largest ship in the world.
Yeah. And we have a neighbor over here that she likes to gamble, and she practically stays on those cruises because she gets free stuff. You know how they do in Vegas when you're a high roller and they give you free stuff. Well, I said she's that way on a ship. She's on a cruise practically every month because she gets it free because she gambles a lot. She wins. But I said she likes to cruise. Yeah.
Well, I know that the club members that we went on that ship with, I'm trying to think of some of the free stuff they got. I don't even know everything that they got, but I know they have a special
Behind the scenes
they have a room
tour.
if you're on the boat. They have a room. And only people that's a Diamond Club member can go in this room. And in that room, there's free stuff. Kind of like Disney has their club members only area where you go in, you got free coffee, free drinks, free potato chips, whatever. Royal's got one of them rooms. But I think they give their Diamond Club members a lot of free alcohol beverages, of to which the people we went, they don't drink. So he was always asking me, he said, hey, he said, you want a beer or something? He said, because I got some free stuff they're offering me, but he said, I don't drink. He said, but I've got to order it. So if you want it, I'll get it and I'll give it to you. So, and I don't know what all other kind of free stuff they got, but they got a lot of stuff.
But that was one of the best vacations. It was really nice. We got to see a lot of things.
I sat out on the balcony a lot.
Yeah.
He recommended that. He said, whatever you do, get a room with a balcony, because the lady had both. And I said, okay, and that's extra for the balcony. But I got it because he recommended it. Yeah, that was a good idea. I like the balcony.
And they have an indoor balcony and an outdoor balcony. I mean, you can overlook the park.
Oh yeah, yeah. We had an outdoor balcony.
Yeah.
I think we ate breakfast out there once.
We did.
we ordered room service to bring us breakfast. I've
Very
never done
nice.
that before.
Very nice.
Huh?
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Karen Brawler wants to know the best way to find a decent RV mechanic.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Well,
There's no science behind it, Karen. It isn't like you can like Google the best RV mechanic near me. You can't. It's word of mouth, basically. That's how I knew Wayne was basically word of mouth. I also knew that he didn't have his own garage and all this and that. That doesn't bother me near as bad because one of the best diesel mechanics that I found that worked on mighty semi trucks for a long time was a shade tree mechanic. But I'll tell you what, when it come to a Cummins motor, there was nothing that got past this guy. He knew what he was doing. Problem was he drove a semi truck for a living. So to tie him down to work on your truck means he had to park his truck, so he wasn't making any money, and so you had to compensate him, pretty good. So and I did, but here it was just word of mouth. The truth of it is, they had months ago. If you go back in any of my RV videos, I had one of their RV mobile techs come over to my storage unit and look at my generator. And he did. He went through it for 2 hours. I think I got charged like $260, and when he left, he didn't fix anything. He didn't know what to do. And this is the problem you have with a lot of the RV technicians that comes to the campgrounds, mobile techs, to work on things. You don't know if they know what they're doing, because you can have a person that specializes in electrical systems in your RV. They can specialize working on, say, the generator, or the refrigerator, or your hot water heater. All these guys are specialized. Well, $260 later, he couldn't fix anything, and he wanted me to bring it over to their garage so they could take the generator out of the motorhome. Now, we're talking serious money when they start doing that. Go back to my very first motorhome. When they took that generator out of that motorhome to fix the oil leak, it created so many problems in that RV, I ended up getting rid of it just from them doing that. So that's on the back of my mind when he said, bring it over to the garage so we could take the generator out. I just didn't set good with that at all. So Linda had some work done to her RV, the Mercedes. I think she had the air conditioner replaced on the roof under warranty. And they sent a guy down from Lakeland down to her storage area to replace that air conditioner. He told Linda that this company over here, which is the same company I used the Mobile Tech on, but he was recommending them because, now I don't know if the company sold out to another company and they just kept the same name. I don't know. But he recommended that, and he said, and use me as a reference. He said, I think that would help if you ever have to go over there. Well, Linda gives me this information. And so when I went over and talked to him, I used that. And I knew I was going to have to wait. I think I waited maybe a week before they got it in the garage. Yeah. Something like a week. And after that, and of course, keep in mind, I haven't test drove this at all yet. We haven't been on the road at all yet. But they fixed everything. I've checked everything. Everything's working fine. And I don't really have a complaint. The price, I think I've got a video coming out on my RV channel that's going to show you how much I paid for everything, including new tires, all this kind of stuff. So I don't want to ruin it here because this ain't the RV channel, but it'll be there. And so far, everything worked out fine. But that's how you find out the best mechanics for you in your area is basically word of mouth.
Yeah.
And
because like around here, there's, these storage facilities are full of RVs. So they're getting them fixed somewhere. And so it's pretty reasonable to, ask the next guy that you see in an RV, who do you get yours worked on? And I know a lot of people go to someplace in Leesburg. But like I said, we had a bad time with the first time around, so we're kind of leery of anybody that works on it.
Yeah,
so.
The very first person that worked on my very first RV did it so many times, it screwed it up every time they touched it. I mean, every time they touched this thing, they'd call me up saying, hey, we got some bad news, and what now? I mean, I was getting frustrated with everybody. So anyway, I wouldn't recommend them at all, but I do know that company, I believe, have sold out.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it was called the RV Swap Shop. I don't know what it's called now. They may have kept the same name. This is the first time I've ever put it out there because I didn't want to sound like I was being I don't know how I put it, being bigotry toward that company. I wasn't. I have nothing against the family, the owner, the old owner, or anybody working there. They always talked to me very nice. They always treated me very well, but they couldn't fix a damn thing. And then I get a $3,000 bill, and that thing wouldn't even start. So what's the matter with you people?
Okay.
Anyway, I get off that
Moving on.
subject. Yeah, because that's a sore subject for me.
Laura says she's had the same internet provider for over 20 years, and she's reluctant to change because she works from home a couple days a week.
I understand.
And it's been very reliable. And that's the way with us, if it's very reliable, I don't like changing. But like half the price was, that was an incentive for me to do that. And I said, so far, it's been a good change.
I told him when he came here and we were talking to him, I talked to him for a while. I said, hey, look, I don't mind changing to something better if I definitely know it's better. And he guaranteed me.
He gave us a month. Said
Yeah.
he would redo everything.
He gave us a month free. He said, at the end of the month, if you're not satisfied, you call me. He said, I'll come and take it out and put all your system all back in. So we kept our old router for the old company for a while, thinking if he has to come back here, I want to keep this stuff here. Because like you, I work from home. These videos is my job. And WNL takes a lot of high-speed Wi-Fi, really, to do it. And that doesn't guarantee we won't have a glitch. There's no guarantee saying you won't have a glitch,
Right.
But so I'm reluctant. I understand. I didn't want to change things because what if something goes bad and all of a sudden I can't upload a video now? I can't download a video now. I can't do a WNL because we got a glitch, and that's bad because on WNL it ain't me. It's like a total of 6 people that is depending on that show to go up, and that don't include the guests. So if we have a glitch on my end, especially with me, because if I have a glitch on my end, it screws everybody.
Oh, and Joy, you got on the Wonder of the Seas, and that's what the neighborhood cruise. That's what they took. But then there's a new one coming out. I don't know what it is. It's supposed to be a little bit bigger. But everybody, that's one thing. Everybody seems to love the cruising part of it. And these things are so big, you don't notice the movement anymore. Or, we didn't.
We never did.
No. Like I said, the only time you
Remember
could
that?
ever.
I don't know. We had a late night dinner. I think it was dress night. And I was sitting at the table, and they had like behind our table was what you call them, portholes, pretty good size. But they were huge. And I could sit there, and I told Sue, I said, the moon was in there a while ago. I said, now it's gone. I never even thought anything about it. And then 2 minutes later, the moon's back again. What did it do? Make a circle and come back around? Or we were realizing the ship was doing this a little slowly and then going back down. So we saw the moon, and we didn't see the moon. But the funny thing, sitting at the table, we never even noticed it.
Yeah. And like I said, the only time you could feel any movement was sitting on the toilet, believe it or not. And that's an odd thing to say, but that's the only time I ever felt any movement in the thing. But yeah, cruising is very cool. If you haven't never done one, like I said, do at least one. Like I said, we did one. Whether we do another one, who knows? But do at least one because it's kind of an event. It really is, and it was fun. The food, unbelievable. Like I said, if you're on a diet, don't bother. But like I said, they probably give you diet food too. But I mean, it's just wonderful, wonderful food. Okay.
Dale DeMont says one of the reasons why they're moving to Florida is for easy port access. Easier, maybe.
Yeah.
Being here in the villages, truthfully, unless you're sailing out of, say, Tampa, the port access here isn't that easy. I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to have to go up to Port Canaveral, or you're going to have to go down to, I'll say the Miami area, but it's actually not Miami. It's, what was that area we went down? Whatever it's called. You're going to have to go down there. There's nothing around here. So maybe you don't want to move here. Maybe you want to move closer to, I don't know, split to 2 if you can. Maybe Orlando area would be better for you or whatever. But
Yeah.
we're not close to any ports here.
But I mean, it's better than if you live in Chicago.
Oh yeah, it's much better than if you live up there. You got to fly down.
Yeah.
There's no argument there.
Yeah, and Laura says she's just glad the cruise industry is back. Yeah, COVID really hurt them, but they've come back and they're kind of. I think they're set to start raising prices because it's been such a good year for them. And so next year, better get your reservations in early. And let's see. Jeff Glassell says, after a visit to Coachman in Middlebury, I won't let anyone work on my motorhome. It's a 5-hour drive, but they know what they are doing.
And I agree with that because I'd like to upgrade my 13.5 works okay on normal conditions. I'd like to upgrade it to about a 15,000 because if we happen to take that thing out on, say, a 90-degree day and there's no shade or anything like that, we're boondocking, it really struggles. And 15, I think, would be a lot better. So my thought was the 13.5 works fine. I thought I'd like to move it back to the bedroom where that vent is above the bed, and it's the same size hole as everything else is around there, and put that 13.5 there somehow, some way, and have it set up with its own, I don't know, thermometer back there or something somehow, and then put the new 15,000 up front where the 13.5 is at. And I'm real leery about going to any mechanic and have that done because that's expensive stuff. And I don't want to go to just any mechanic to get up on my roof and drag stuff around, and you know what I mean.
And I'm thinking, if you're going to spend that kind of money, just buy another bus. Just, you keep putting money in one that's got a few years on it. And
it's just like a house. I'm not putting money in it. I'm upgrading it.
Well,
it's just like this house. It's not we're putting money in here. We're upgrading it.
But you won't get more money out of it. But I won't get it
back in a motorhome.
Like you would a house.
Yeah, a house you get kind of your money back, but in a motorhome, no, you won't. And so the truth is, I have been looking at diesel pushers, Class A's, because that first Class A, I really like the layout in it. Is it easier to get around from one spot to another? No. I mean, you got to be more aware of the turns. How much room do you need to make a turn, especially when you're towing a car? All these things. They're more subject to wind blowing you around on the highway than a Class C. But the diesel pushers, the reason why I'm looking at diesel pushers, two reasons really, is that all diesel pushers that I've ever seen are on a truck chassis, Freightliner chassis or something like that. In a semi, you could drive a semi all day long, and the wind never pushed me around. It pushed the trailers around, but my semi truck, it never pushed me around. You could drive them. They steered straight like a car. There was no fighting the steering wheels. And so that's part that I do know. And the second thing is, if I need to fill it up, I'm going straight to a truck stop. I'm pulling straight in, getting diesel fuel, and pulling straight out. Instead of going to a damn gas station where people walk around with their heads up their ass, and they park their car at the gas pump and then get out and go walking around, blocking it for everybody, and you can't get in the damn gas pump. And you saw what happened at a Buc-ee's on a holiday weekend. Guy changed the baby diaper at a gas pump right in front of me. It took him forever. And that's just what happens at a gas pump. Okay. Let's get off that subject.
Yes, moving on. Hey, Cheryl. Jill says that they cruise all over Florida because they're out of Colorado Springs. So it's much better here in Florida to find a cruise port. Yes, definitely, because there's several. I know there's some that leave from the Cape. And I said Miami, and I said there's several all over. We had Skip's cousin took a cruise out of Texas.
That kind of shocked me.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, but there are ports there.
Ron's a flyboy.
Under the Gulf, so I didn't realize that there was any Gulf ports around there, but I guess there is.
I remember we were talking one day. We were down there, and we were probably sitting out in his front patio, just shooting the breeze. And I'm sure it was him that we were talking about a cruise or whatever. And I asked him, "Have you guys ever been on a cruise?" And he just looked at me and said, "Oh no," he said, "That ain't going to happen." And we just kind of dropped the subject. I said, "Okay, whatever." And then next thing I know, on Facebook, they're posting pictures where they're on a cruise. I thought, what?
Yeah, I think they went with some of their family. Oh, did you see the new pictures today? He's a grandpa.
Oh, she had her baby?
Yes. Trista had the baby.
Wow.
And I love the name. His name is Finn. I think that's what it is, Finn.
I don't know.
I thought that was cute. I really love that.
Gets me, when we were down there about 3 years ago, I think, Trista, we was walking around the beach, and she was educating me on stuff on the beach. And I was finding, I don't know, crap, plastic bottles that and this and that. And I'm thinking, people walking around the beach down here and throwing this crap on the beach. I just can't believe Texans do that. Because these are the beaches where sea turtles come up and nest and everything. And she says, now it's got barnacles on it. She said that washed in from the ocean. She said it could have come off of a cruise ship or something like that. And she said, you know how you can tell how long something's been in the water? I said, no. She said, by how many barnacles are on it. And she could look at the stuff and look at the barnacles and tell you that, that's probably been out there about a year and a half.
Her grandpa educated her well. He knows all about sea beans. I've never seen a sea bean before.
And she could tell you where they come from.
Yeah.
These sea beans here come from Brazil.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So I asked her when we were there, I said, my generation really has screwed up a lot of things in this country with our stupid way of thinking and our stupid way of doing. We have screwed up a lot of things. I said, do you think your generation could ever straighten some of these things out that we messed up? And she said, it just depends on if everybody wants to do it or not. She said they may not. Said there's not one person could cure it all. Now this was a girl. Next thing I know, 2 years later, they tell me she's married and pregnant. What? I couldn't believe it. I don't remember her being that old.
Time moves on, dear. Oh, yeah. And Debbie says the cruises leave from Galveston, and her family are going on a cruise this June for 6 days. And yes, she got an outside balcony.
Terry Walker says a new ship for them is going to be called Icon.
Yes, the Icon.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the name of it is, and they're not. I think they're going to be in Miami for a couple of years before they put it on the regular route. Yeah, I read something in the paper about it. I don't remember exactly what it said, but it said it was going to stay in the Miami port for a couple of years anyhow, because they move them around. And
some of these people in their golf carts crack me up. It ain't the golf cart, it ain't the people. It's the way they dress and what they do when they're in that golf cart. I swear to God, some of these people dress in their golf cart like they're cruising. Like when we were kids, we used to go cruising around. You got their hand like here, I guess. They got their wraparound shades on, and they're just cruising.
Yeah,
it's funny.
And Bill says we'll be there in May for my lifestyle visit. Is there an app you recommend for traveling around in the golf cart?
The Villages app.
I don't want to cause mayhem on the road.
The Villages app. There's two of them. One's free, and the other one's like $7. And everybody tells me that has these apps that the $7 app is good. The other one is kind of, you can Google, and I've said this before, you can Google on a golf cart trail if you know what you're doing. And by that I mean if you know the area and you know that this golf cart trail follows that road, Google doesn't know you're on a golf cart trail. It still thinks you're on that road. If you know how to compensate that, that's fine. But what happens is every time that these guys that have been drinking and stuff get caught, is Google will say, turn right, turn left. Well, when you're in the roundabout, it'll say, take a second exit. And that's where people get screwed up. And next thing you know, they're on a road in a roundabout.
Yeah.
And you got to be very aware of that. You cannot be on a roundabout. You cannot be on the main roads. And when you get to, especially south of 466A, it may start at 466. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know everything south of 466A. When you get close to a guard shack, you're going to see a brick walkway across the road, a pretty wide one. That's to give you notice. At a golf cart, you either turn left or turn right there at that brick. You're not allowed to go past it, because if you go through that gate arm, you are in no man's territory. You're not supposed to be there. So so $7. Here's the way I say it: you might get a $500 ticket if you get caught in the golf cart out on the main road, because they don't give you a ticket for just being somewhere where you're not supposed to be.
Right.
You're going to get a ticket for one, you're not street legal. So that means you're going to get a ticket for not having a registration, not having a license plate, not having insurance, not having seat belts, and the tickets go on and on.
And they really charge here.
And they do, and they mean it. And you have to go to court. It's a mandatory appearance in front of the court. You might be able to get your lawyer to do it for you, but in any case, you're talking a $500 fine, and it's just pay the $7.
Yeah. Brian Glombaski said he just bought the Village's GPS app for $741 with tax.
741.
And
Okay.
he's coming down for lifestyle visit in April. Yeah. Hey, Kathy B.
It just could save you a lot of trouble, you know. $7.41 as opposed to maybe a $500 fine.
And Kathy, I'm sure you can find a 1 month rental still. If you go to some of the sites like the Village's Friendly Folks or the Next Door sites, or even the, what is that, Rent the Villages?
Villages for Rent.
Villages for Rent.
The Villagers Homes for number rent.com.
Yeah, and I said, so I'm sure, somebody's backed out because I see all the time on the Next Door site or the Friendly Folks. I see all the time where somebody had a cancellation and they've got it for a month. So, yeah, you can still find them. It's not going to be as easy as it would be, earlier, but you can still find them.
Fort Lauderdale. Kevin says Fort Lauderdale is where that boat's parked at.
Oh, okay.
But the area that the boat's parked at ain't Fort Lauderdale. I mean, yeah, that sounds like the area where we stay, but the boat docking is called something there, like Plantation something or something like that. And you got to park your car at a place where you could store it for a week. They got that. They got you covered down there on that too. The first time we did it, I thought I was being robbed. I didn't know. I just didn't know. And
you're scared of everything.
the guy said you pull in, and the guy says he just reaches in and gets your keys. Where you have to hand him the keys, and it's like, well, what about my suitcases and stuff back here? He said, take them and go inside and set them over there. So I did. When I turned around, car's gone. Car is just gone. He's got my keys. It's gone, and I don't know where it went. So then when this shuttle bus showed up, we're all supposed to get on it. Well, the people we were with, seems to me, they got on the first shuttle bus. There wasn't no room for me and Sue because I'm lagging behind. We had to get on the second shuttle bus. Now I'm nerve-wracked because we're by ourselves and I don't know what I'm doing. And we get down there, we get off the bus, and I'm turning around saying, where's my suitcase? We take care of it. And they left. Now my car's gone, and my suitcase is gone, and we're standing in front of this area, and people said, you go in there and wait, they'll call for you. So we go in there, and then we see the people we're with, and this room was just huge. Says, what do I do now? He says, make sure you got your boarding pass and stuff, which Sue had all that. So we're sitting there, and then pretty soon they all get up. I get up. I didn't understand anything they said on the speaker because people on these speakers around these boats all have a very bad accent from whatever country they're from. Mm-hmm. And we get up and we walk, and well, you guys heard the story before, but anyway, we finally got on the boat. Once I'm on the boat and I know where my room is, I'm okay. It was just all that stuff. And then when I got to the room, when they holler your name and everything, go to get to your room and stuff, I get to the room and everybody told me my suitcases will be sitting in front of my door. Well, they weren't. And so then I start finding out, where's my suitcases? Did they steal my stuff? Where's my suitcases? Because my cameras and stuff are in there. And come to find out that they were just late. They got like a couple hours later, they knocked on the door and my suitcases were there. But
yeah, Port Everglades.
Port Everglades. I think that's it. Yes, that's the name of the area.
Thank you, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you got to go.
Yeah. And Laura wanted to know when the love bugs are here May and September. And there's no certain time in May that they come. But like it's usually the whole month of May. A week or two might be heavier than the rest of the month, but yeah, that's when they're here, May and September.
Usually by the first or second week of May, you start seeing signs of them here and there, and we never know how bad they're going to be.
Yeah, sometimes they're really bad, and sometimes they're
sometimes just nothing. Here,
I think they like the smell of gasoline because I always see them at the filling stations. That's where I see them the worst, and the pool areas. So, go figure.
Yeah, because here, let's say the love bugs here might not be very bad at all of any particular year. That doesn't mean that Orlando isn't bad or Tampa isn't bad. Yeah. That's just here, it's not so bad. And what makes them bad one year and not so bad the next year, I've heard it has to do with rain. I don't know that. I just know that some years, I remember one year we were down here, I think on vacation, and it was either here or Orlando, I'm not sure, but the bugs were so bad that I didn't even want to pump gas in my car. I was afraid they was going to get down in my gas tank.
Yeah.
I mean, they were everywhere. And in the motorhome, remember that first motorhome, was taking it north, and I stopped at a rest area, and I got out on the front of my motorhome, and I swear to God, it was just thousands
Yeah.
of dead love bugs was all over
Yeah.
this thing.
He pulled over and washed the windows right there.
It was awful.
Yeah.
And then since then, though, we really haven't had really that many here.
Yeah. And yes, Kevin, the Icon, the new one is docked in Miami for 2 years. Until they put it in the rest of the ports. I mean, I don't know exactly what port they're going to put it at, but it is in Miami for a couple of years. And it's called the Icon of the Seas. I don't know how much bigger they can get, but and JC, the Mexican restaurant is called Las Magueyas. Deb and I call it Muggy Eyes. It's easier to say.
Oh yeah, somebody sent me an email. Let me get it there.
That's the one in the shopping center there in Wildwood. We also got another one on 466. It's called Naldo's. And Naldo's was always there, but it's new owners now, and they were going to change the name, but I guess they decided not to. And so it's still Naldo's, and it's an excellent Mexican restaurant, I think.
Okay, I got an email yesterday from J.C. Comer.
That's who was asking.
Oh. Says
Okay.
in another 5 days, he's having trouble with his internet thing too. Yeah, he said it's been terrible. Can you tell me? Oh, the Mexican restaurant. You already told him, right?
Yeah.
Monkey Eyes.
Muggy Eyes is what we call it. It's Las Magueyas, and it's right next to, I believe
You can't miss it.
No, it's in the shopping center there.
Yeah, just look
where Ace Hardware is.
In front of the restaurant's got all the potted plants in Mexican pots all across the sidewalk. That's it.
Yep.
Actually, if you go there, is it weekends? They have the mariachi band.
I think it's on Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah.
Yeah, if you like that, go there on the weekend. They have a mariachi band that kind of roams around and plays. I went there once. I didn't mind it. But when the mariachi band's playing like anywhere else around here, if you're wanting to go there and have a conversation with somebody, you're not going to have one.
Yeah. But it's kind of cool because I mean they're all dressed in their uniforms. It's very, very cool. And I don't know if they do that every week. I know they have them at Lake Sumter where the theater is. Lazy Mac's Taco Shack has the mariachi band up there every once in a while. So that's what I say. I don't know if they're at the restaurant every weekend, but I think so. And they have the Taco Tuesday, like all of them do. And the place gets very, very crowded. Yeah. And yes, Denise, we're really excited. We're ready to hit the road. We haven't been anywhere since we come back last year because of my accident, and so we're ready to go. Oh, bye, Kevin. Yeah, and Marcia said they used to live in Orlando, and the love bugs were horrible. Some years they are, and some years they aren't. Now, last year we didn't see that many. Did you?
What?
And that many love bugs. I never seen them last year.
What month?
Either month. Last year it seemed like they were kind of light for some reason.
Well, they've been light, I think, for the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, you have them, you'll see them, but nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and you have to wash your car because the bugs will ruin your paint job. I've heard that ever since we've moved here. I don't know if that's a fact, but I've heard that ever since we moved here. So
I understand that their blood and guts in there has got an acid to it.
yeah.
Listen, there's got to be something to this because I can tell you, you go to any lake around here that's just full of fish. Fish will not eat them. They'll come up and then just swim away.
Yeah.
So there's something to these bugs where fish won't eat them. I have never seen a bird eat them. I have never seen a gecko eat one of these love bugs.
And there's all kinds of stories about where they come from and that kind of thing. I
heard it was a scientific experiment.
Well, I've heard a million different things, and can't prove any of them.
I think it's a scientific experiment.
Well, yeah.
If they was going to use these bugs.
Oh, and Kelly says
to attack China.
Kelly says nice video of those shucks. Well, it wasn't what we were intended to.
I took my camera in. I had it with me. Yeah. But we walked in that front door, and I was like, my God, it's noisy in here.
Yes,
I mean, It was terribly loud, noisy.
We couldn't talk to each other at the table. No. It was that noisy.
So the lady asked us if we'd like to sit outside, and I said, well, my mind says outside is going to be picnic tables underneath a tree And I didn't like the idea of it because this ain't no fancy restaurant or anything. And so, but yeah, Linda said that they got there before we did. So they already had a table outside. So we went out there and they finally turned the music down, I think, outside anyway,
Yeah.
to where it wasn't so bad. But I didn't take any videos because by the time they turned the music and stuff down and everything, we already ate. We were just sitting there drinking a beer and shooting the bull.
Yeah. And
So I
it
didn't get
was
any.
packed. I said that little place, it's a gold mine because you can't tell it, but I said it was packed, and this was early. We were there like at 4:00.
Yeah, thanks to my videos.
Yeah.
Nobody used to go there until we started talking about it, and then now it's just packed all the time. Oh shucks, you owe me.
Oh, Robin's on. Hey, Robin.
Yeah, she was supposed to come over here last week and never showed up.
Oh well.
What's up with that?
I don't know. After you turn Ira away so many times, maybe they thought you weren't
No,
welcome.
it was just cold. I told Ira we'd do this as long as the weather's right. If it's cold or rainy, I'm not sitting out here.
Oh yeah.
And I got to get Ira over here eventually because I got a hat for him. He wanted me to get him a hat, so I got him one. It's in there in a box.
Oh, okay.
So I got to give it to him.
And then she says she's working. Robin is.
Yeah.
She says someone has to make money. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Well, like I said, it's like I said, I feel bad that y'all in the snow and the cold because I said it's beautiful down here. It really is. I said, and this is.
It's all right.
I know, and you wouldn't open the windows because the air conditioner's on.
Yeah.
But I'd like to air everything out.
The problem with opening the windows are, and I tried it a couple of times. I don't mind that on a day like today with the breeze, go through the house and kind of, I don't know, air everything out. That's what Mom always said. I don't know if it actually works or not, but anyway, is you got to open these windows here. Then you got those Spanish things back there, those shutters. You got to open them. I like keeping them shut and then turn the louvers so I can direct the air. Otherwise, there's a table right there. When the air starts going through there, papers on that table go everywhere. You got to open the sliding door in the back.
Excuses.
I'm just telling you what happens. I've done this. And then you got to open the doors in the lanai so the air can go all the way through. And literally, I like to open this front door, but we don't have a screen door. That's something I think I may want to do some days, have a screen door. And if you open this door, that really lets the breeze go through the house. And then you start hearing doors slamming around the house where it just shuts the doors and all.
Oh,
It just seems really hectic.
Hey, Chief. Glad to see you.
And then the next complaint's going to be from this one. You know, when you open that window, you're going to have to quit opening so many windows because there's so much dust that gets in here all over everything. I got to dust the floors.
I have never said that.
She will.
Oh. And if Ronald says, love your show, I get all my laundry done, dishes, and make it even take a nap. Yeah, we're good for that. You can nap through it. 63 and sunny in Metro St. Louis. Wow. Well, you guys, you know, I think it's coming for you. I do.
No, it should be already be past them, right?
Well, I don't know.
Who said it was snow?
Colorado Springs was where it was called.
Because it kind of, when I saw it on the news, it kind of came down, arced down. But St. Louis might get nothing but rain. I mean, might get drop in temperature, it might get nothing but rain.
And
that's what we're supposed to get. We're supposed to get a drop in temperature and a possibility of some showers.
Yeah. 64 in Ohio. Hey, that's pretty darn good weather for this time of year.
I'm sure they're not complaining.
No. Brian Bombasky says, I don't see television commercials for the villages. I do for Del Webb and Valencia. Do you think it's because of your YouTube channel and some of the other villages' YouTube channels? No. They have never advertised anywhere that I know of but Fox News.
Who?
The villages. And I said, that's where I first heard of the villages, actually.
Somebody told me that they seen the advertisement on a golf channel.
ESPN and Fox News. That's it.
Yeah, they suck up to Fox pretty good right here. Whenever Fox comes down, they put them up there at the Lake Sumter. They have for years. It's every year. Matter of fact, I think they've already been there this year. They had a special Fox News up there at Lake Sumter. I got nothing against Fox News, but I don't watch Fox because they lean one way. I don't watch CNN because they lean the other way. And between the two of them, I don't I think that's the reason why our country is in such a shit shape that it is right now. They got everybody arguing and carrying on about stuff that doesn't amount to a hill of beans, but they do.
Yeah. Oh. Laura says she's reading her work email and laughing. I'm on vacation this week, so the problems have to be taken care of by someone else. Way to go. You can read and see what they have to deal with, right?
Heck is that? You can't see it, but there's something flying here.
What do they call it, a Zoom fly?
I don't know. You all know what a Zoom fly is, right? Yeah, that's, let me tell you a joke. A police officer pulls a man over for speeding. He walks up to the car and he says, can I see your license registration, please? And he keeps swatting around. And the guy says, what seems to be a problem, officer? Oh, it's these flies. Everywhere I go, these flies are always buzzing around. He said, I don't know where they come from. The guy in the car goes, those are Zoom flies. So I recognize them. Zoom flies, he says, what the heck's a Zoom fly? Well, these are Zoom flies. They all hang around horses' asses.
That's not funny. Okay. I mean, travel dream 46, just skip the breeze.
Are you saying I'm a horse's ass? Oh, no, sir. But you can't fool them Zoom flies.
I was wondering when you're going to finish it. Yeah. Yeah, the breeze is what airs things out. So you got to have the breeze.
What are we airing out? It ain't like the house farts.
Well, you don't go out that much, so you don't notice, but your room smells like gym socks.
Well, then get me some air freshener. I'll spray in there.
You don't just cover it up. That's what I mean. Air it out.
What's causing it to smell?
How much have you ate in there in this week?
Yeah, but there's no food in there.
There's probably orange peelings.
Nope. I sweep the room out at least 2 or 3 times a week. I pull the chairs away from the wall and everything.
Is there a bag of chips in there? Anyhow, yeah, all that stuff, it gets stale when the room's closed up like that. That's what I mean. Let's see.
Well, I would open that window right there on a day like today.
But you got so much stuff that'll blow over. You can't.
It blows everything everywhere.
I know. Oh, she just opened her window. It says 63 in the mountains. It's Rosemary O'Brien in Northeast Pennsylvania, and it's 63. And Rick Meredith said it'll be back to 39 and back up to the 50s and 60s on the weekend. Wow. Oh, Massachusetts 47. Wow. Well, this is our spring, actually.
Yeah, it's spring.
And that's why I think you should turn the water back on, but we'll not talk about that.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I watch other yards to see what's green.
You don't get up until noon, but that is dry.
You can see right there.
When I walk in the morning, I see who has their sprinklers on. I know.
Those people probably just leave it on all year long. They don't even know what they're doing.
You don't even have to look now. You just to see who's green. You know they've got their sprinklers on.
I'm watching the grass to see when the grass starts greening up. And
Everybody's
starting. Matter of fact, for your information, this yard was watered yesterday. I did it manually. Turned all of them on.
Well, like I said, we got good rain the other day too. But yeah, it's just that time of year. Everybody's
yard over there is still brown. This Canadian
he watches you. He probably hasn't got his water on.
This Canadian right here is just starting to green up. I look across that little yard right there, and you can actually see the green sprigs starting to grow again where they haven't mowed. And over there starting to green up a little bit. So we're getting close to starting to water. And then you got to ask yourself, how many times a week do you water? I don't think you need to water that much. The Zoysia is made to survive with minimum amount of water. That's what it was designed for. And I think people here want to overwater it because seem to think the more water you put on your yard, the greener the grass stays, and that's not true.
No, not with this kind of grass, because you get more pests that way. More, what do they call it? Infestations. The more water, like I said, you actually cause brown spots by too much water.
I just don't want to get those mole crickets back. I haven't seen what kind of damage that can do.
The village's chief said
yes, there is a thing here called a mole cricket.
The Villages, Florida. What do you guys know about blondies coming to Spanish Springs? Well, I think it's going to be a great addition. It's going to be an outside bar, like on the idea of what Edna's is. Edna's on the green, because that's an outside bar type thing. But this one will be attached to the back of the the Sharon Morse building. And it gets a lot of traffic up there. And so I think that'll be a great idea to have that on the outside. As long as it doesn't get too, I don't know, a lot of, outside people come up to Margaritaville there. And I said there's a lot of fights and stuff that goes on. So hopefully that won't happen at that outside venue there, because I think it'd be a nice addition once they get it done. I don't know how long it's going to be.
Bill Rizzo says he's working on his RV, getting ready to go to the Daytona Bike Week.
Oh, no, the race isn't the race this week?
I'm just telling you, when he said getting ready to go up to the Daytona Bike Week. They have it all at the same time. We went to Daytona Bike Week one year. It rained like every day we were there. It was kind of chilly too. But the Daytona Bike Week is a serious event.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It just ain't in one spot. It's like the whole town of Daytona. The whole town of Daytona is blocked off. You can't drive a car down there. Yeah. It's motorcycles only. And actually, for safety reasons, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And we walked around town. We went to a few bars, had a burger and a beer, and we went all around to different areas. They had outside bands that seemed like everywhere. Motorcycles, obviously, for sale. All the dealerships had some area blocked off where they were selling their motorcycles. Yeah. Places you could take your bike in and get things worked on immediately. And that's really the advantage to a lot of these bike week things. You can take your bike in and say, I need new tires. Well, that's over there. I need to get my oil changed. Well, that's over there. On ours, we had a Honda, a Goldwing, and so we went to Honda Hoot and a couple other things. I can't think of what they were all called. And the reason why we went was because every time there was something I wanted to get done. I wanted to get a backrest put on my seat for me. And I knew that I could do it at one of those. And you just go in and drop your bike off, and then when you come back an hour later, it's done.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about them. I could get stuff like that done. And I wish the RVs were that way. Have these rallies where I could take my RV and say, I want this done. I want that done.
And we don't know that they aren't because we've never been to a rally.
They do, but Coachman has a lock on the parts.
Oh.
You can't get a part for Coachman unless you're a licensed dealer of some kind. And that's the problem you have here with it.
The Village's chief, evidently, he has his own YouTube channel. Well, I've not heard of you, but I'll have to look you up.
Somebody asked me this question, and by the way, I'm not e-begging or anything, but I just want to explain it. Somebody sent a question, and if you're not used to YouTube, it's a good question. So what's the difference between a super sticker and a super chat? It seems to be the same thing. That's what they see comes up on their screen. It is and it ain't. Super sticker means you're on a sports channel, you send them $5. That's a super sticker. And they'll acknowledge you and say thanks, and that's it. There's nothing else they can do. Super chat is set up. You can send the same $5, but a super chat has a space on there where you can ask a question or make a comment that's attached to that super chat. So if you got a specific question, and this is what I tell people during WNL show, if you have a specific question for like Judy or Linda or Sue or anything like that, or if you want to advertise your channel, during a live thing, get a super chat. Why not? If you're going to pay $10 for something, get something out of it. Hey, I just started my new Village's channel called blah, blah, blah on a super chat. I mean, that's what you're paying for.
Right. You just got to watch the moderator don't kick you off because of that.
When it comes to super chats, I don't think they can. That's me only. Oh, okay. I'm pretty sure. I think.
Okay.
Why would you kick $10 off? I wouldn't kick $10 off.
Oh, well, no. Oh.
Now listen, I can hear the brains working already. Just because you can make a comment on a super chat, don't be crazy. You can't just make any comment if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yep. And 63 in Jersey.
William Rizzo, if you're going to go to the Daytona race by some chance in your RV, if you've got infield parking for the RVs inside there like a lot of them do, if you happen to run into Nomadic Fanatic, he's there right now. He's there for the week. He got there early.
Because I think the race is this weekend.
Well, the thing is, most people just show up the day before the race or whatever. But he was explaining that if you've got these spots, you can show up a week early. They don't care. and they golf cart escorted him to his spot, which I guess is nice. It's a big area. And so I'm just saying, if you get there, he's there. If you see him, tell him I said, hey.
Yeah, we watch The Fanatic. We love him. Yep.
It's starting to move a little bit. Hang in there.
Ah, yeah. We have some gusts of wind. How many people attend Daytona Bike Week? I don't know, but
Thousands.
Thousands. It's a big deal. I mean, we come from Indianapolis, and we would leave town because of the race, the Indianapolis 500, because there it's not. It's an all month thing, the whole month of May, and like I said, I know how many people come to that, so they're pretty the same way down here. People are very. They got their racers. They know which ones that they're going to root for.
Bike week is March 3rd through the 15th.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The 500-mile Daytona race is this weekend.
Yeah,
but
it's always a week after Super Bowl.
In Daytona, Bike Week and all that ends up being a month long. Mm-hmm. Just like the 500-mile race in Indianapolis is only one day, but in Indianapolis, if you live there, it's called the race month of
the month of May.
The month of May. And so, because they have the downtown parades, they got the 500 Queen Festival thing, and it's just a whole month thing.
And they probably do the same thing in Daytona. I don't know, but they probably do. But like I said, everybody's loyal to their racers. And I said, we've been at the track. We've not been for the race, but we've been at the track.
Best thing to do in Indianapolis in the month of May, during the race, when everybody else is all raced this or race that, go to the Indianapolis Zoo. There's nobody there.
Yeah, Galveston has a Lone Star rally every November. You hear them going down 45 all week going to Galveston. Yeah, it's everybody's got their own thing,
But when you live there, you know when to go, when not to go. Just like here in Florida, I'm learning as the longer we're here, there are certain months that if we wanted to go, which I'm not really enthused about it, but I may someday, I don't know. If I want to go to Disney World, there are certain months of the year that I would go. And then other months I would avoid it like the plague. And it's obviously summer months is bad. Kids are out of school, so you don't want to go in the summer months. October is not bad to go to Disney World, believe that or not. And I think December, parts of December, but you want to avoid Christmas week at all costs. And maybe the week after Christmas. I'm not sure, but there's certain months that...
when kids are out of school.
Yeah, but
spring break,
when we went there
break,
years ago,
Christmas
we
break.
talked to one of the crew members there. And I asked them then, straight out, we had our grandkids. I asked them then, I said, what's the best time to come down here to kind of beat the crowds a lot? And he told us, he said the week before Christmas and the week after Christmas were 2 weeks of the slowest weeks of the whole year. He said, because everybody comes down for Christmas week. And I never forgot that. I don't think that's true to today. I just don't think that's true at all. Because Disney's has figured out on their slow weeks, what they do is they offer these special packages to overseas guests. And we know one year we went down there, I swear to God, the whole park was Brazil. Remember that?
Yeah.
Nobody in there spoke English at all. And it was just all Brazil people everywhere you went.
A big crowd of people, and they're all carrying a little flag.
Yeah. And
so their tour guide knew where they were at.
Yeah, they were in groups, and they were being toured around. And every flag said Brazil, everywhere we went.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they started to do to kind of fill up those slow weeks.
Yeah. Well, and Laura says someone she used to work with used to go to Sturgis Bike Week in South Dakota every year. Yeah, Sturgis is a big deal too. Like I said, everybody has their thing. Like I said, we went to Honda Hoot and all the Honda stuff, and then all the Harley bikers, they go to Sturgis, and it's like I said, you pick your place, But it was one of those places where you get all the vendors would set up.
I personally wouldn't want to go up there during Bike Week because of mountains and stuff. Everything echoes. And I know a guy that went up there with his family, and they weren't interested in motorcycles. He got nothing against them, but he wasn't interested in the motorcycle stuff. So he didn't know about Sturgis going on. And they just wanted to go to Mount Rushmore. That's what they want to do. They want to go there. Well, that's a big bike thing during Sturgis Bike Week. They all ride their bikes around there. And he said that's all they heard 24/7 was Harley motorcycles making noise everywhere. And he said it was so uncomfortable, they finally just packed up their RV and left. And I can understand that because I was there, and it wasn't during Bike Week or anything, but things echo around there really bad.
Yeah. One day we had a hard time finding any place that had a decent cup of coffee of all the things.
You know, you travel this country, there are just certain things that you just, you know, you see and you just take advantage of it. Like one is when I'm traveling, I like my coffee. I like my coffee even like here. I just had a cup. I like to have another one right now, but I can't. So when we travel in our car, not the motorhome, but in our car, Starbucks was a thing for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we both, cause I liked our lattes. She liked them. We had a gold card. We used it. And
Their bathrooms were clean.
Bathrooms are clean. And if we wanted to get out of the car and sit outside and drink coffee and relax a little bit, every Starbucks you can do that. So for us, it was a good thing, and we used it all the time.
Yeah.
But we found out when you get to certain areas of this country, Starbucks are very far and few between. You get up to the north parts, I don't even know what to say. I'll say South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota area, probably Montana, all that kind of stuff. It's not Starbucks so much, or at least when we were there, it wasn't. It was name of my coffee.
The name of your coffee, Caribou.
It was Caribou coffee. And you saw all these Caribou coffees. They're like Starbucks, but they're just Caribou coffee. Well, I didn't know what a Caribou coffee was, but we were in Mall of America. And we was walking around on one of these trips. I've never been to a Mall of America. And we saw a Caribou coffee, and I seen it. It looks like a Starbucks inside, really. They do things a little different, but not that much. And so I went and I got me a Caribou latte of some kind or another. And man, it was good. And if I had to rate it between that and Starbucks, I would say the Caribou was even better for me. And that's when I asked them what coffee they used. She ordered some of that coffee because you couldn't buy it at the stores down here. And it's in there. And I've been drinking that ever since because I think it's better than the coffee I was drinking by far. And I got hooked on Caribou. But see, I'm in an area where Caribou coffee is not predominant. And so we have to order. Where do you get it from?
Amazon.
Amazon.
Sometimes you can get it from Sam's Club, but it just depends. I said sometimes they don't have it, but like I said, if they do, it's a little more expensive to get it from Amazon than it is Sam's Club. But like I said, they just don't carry it all the time.
This is the problem you're going to have traveling, I think, and I tell that to people that come down here. It's pretty unanimously true from anybody. Certain foods that you're used to where you're from, there's a really big chance that you're not going to find anything like that here. Number one would be pizza. I have never met a person yet here that said they found the pizza exactly what they used to have where they were from. You just can't get it. They have their different styles of pizza here. I'm not saying they're bad at all. They got good, most of them got good flavors. They're okay, but it ain't what you're looking for. And I just give up. There's just none here. Yeah. So I don't care anymore. I just get what I think is, what was the last pizza we got? And you said it was better than most.
Marco's.
It was pretty good, but it's still, it's just not exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And then Phil took us to a place over in Leesburg called the Chicago Fire and Brewery, I think.
And it wasn't bad.
And then, they have decent pizza there.
The problem is, if you want one delivered to the house, they're not going to do it.
Yeah, that's just it. Marco's will deliver. So, and I said, we've got one up here at Trailwinds, which is very close. And then I found out at Christmas time, my little brother loves Marco's. So they have one up there in Indiana.
So that's the problem you get into is that I like tenderloin, deep fried, breaded tenderloin sandwiches. I grew up on them. Mm-hmm. You go in Indiana, everybody's got them on the menu. At one point, Burger King they offered you breaded tenderloin sandwiches, but it was not on their menu. You just had to know it. And you could order them and they would make them for you. Yeah. I come down here, nobody even knows what I'm talking about. That's what gets me. They
have here late, they've been getting more and more. Like I said, McCall's Tavern over in Spanish Springs, they do have a breaded tenderloin.
Is it a regular breaded tenderloin or is it one of these chef? Oh, this is my interpretation.
No, it's a regular one there. And then Ramshackle Cafe over in Leesburg, they have.
And those are okay, but they're not what I'm looking for, and you know they're not.
Well,
our breaded tenderloin sandwiches can be this big around.
You're not going to get an
And the
Indiana
bun is like
tenderloin.
this big around, and the breaded tenderloin is this big around. You go down there, the bun's this big around, and the breaded tenderloin is this big around. It's inside.
And Williams to spray the front of your vehicle with Pam or other nonstick spray, and the love bugs come right off.
Well, that could be. That sounds like a good trick.
I don't know which would be worse to clean off, the love bugs or the oil. Yeah, and Marcia says spring break is huge in the panhandle for Florida.
Yeah.
Lots of rowdiness going on. My sis hates that time and traffic really bad. Yeah, that's the only problem, if you live in the area, and that's what we lived 12, 13 miles from the Indy track. And I said, the traffic, all the restaurants were full, and it was just, just such a hassle. That's when we would come down here when the race was going on.
Yeah, I can relate, Marcia. I can relate. Marcia.
Yeah.
You know where they got that from. They got that from the Brady Bunch.
Yes.
Marcia.
Kathy B said, then you have to look for
Marcia.
Yes, it is a beautiful day here. I says a nice breeze, and I say it's pretty sunny. And a few clouds, but not very many. It's a beautiful day here. And we decided we're going to air things out.
Sam Zager says, hello, YouTube members. Well, Sam's, really just looking down through here. We don't have very many YouTube members on here right now. Kelly Rezniak is. Oh. There's 2.
Kathy B, William
Cheryl Perry is. There's 3. I'm looking. Laura is 4. I don't know if I missed any or not. Looks like I got maybe 4 or 5 on here, and that's about it. Yeah. They're all probably working.
Oh, well, no. The 151, there's more than that, but
only members.
Yeah.
I only seen 4. And the rest of them are moderators.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Marcia, if you got family going there, yeah, they do get rowdy. And then that's one thing. We're going to Texas. We're going to Rockport, but it's just in between North Padre and South Padre, and they go there for spring break also. Now, last few weeks we've been really lucky, or few years we've been lucky because of COVID. There wasn't nobody there. But like I said, we kind of go the islands in between there, Mustang Island and some of those places. So we really don't notice the crowds as much there. But Port Aransas is a big touristy town, and I think they do a lot. They have a lot of spring breakers there.
Yeah, Port Aransas will kind of remind you a lot of, I don't even know what they call it now, Gatlinburg.
Yeah, Panama City.
That's kind of how I see it. You're in the little island area there. They do have campgrounds there. You can take your RV over there and park it. And then you can go rent yourself a golf cart or whatever they got and drive them all over town. Apparently, there's no restrictions on them at all anywhere. And then they have restaurants and they have touristy places to buy T-shirts and stuff like that. Plus, you could take your golf cart there, and I think you can take it all the way down to the beach, right?
Yeah.
And then you can drive it on the beach.
Yeah, they actually have, they have the dune buggies that you can rent there to take them out to the beach.
Yeah. So, and I don't know exactly when their spring break is there, truthfully, because we was there one year. I think it was during COVID year, really.
Yeah, that's right.
And they took us to a big popular area. We was up on a side of a hill at some ranger station or something. The restaurant was closed there. And he said, this beach is full during spring break. And I looked down at the beach and it was like 6 people. It was like nobody there. So I don't know how bad it really gets there. But I can tell you the town itself is just laid back. Yeah. Even if it gets crowded, it's just laid back the way it's designed. I didn't really notice any kind of heavy traffic, anything other than Dairy Queen. Seems like every time I went to Dairy Queen, there's a line. And the way they got that Dairy Queen laid out, this line is not a convenient line.
Yeah.
It goes around trees, through parking lots.
Yeah. Hey, Golf Breeze. Glad to see ya. And then Kevin says he's still here, so count him. He had to leave, but I guess he's back.
Who?
Kevin.
Kevin who?
Kevin K.
Oh, I see it now.
It was Kevin J that left, so, okay.
Yeah. So you're still here. Were we supposed to meet you somewhere, Kevin? If we are, I have forgotten. You'll have to remind me if we're supposed to meet for a beer or something. I don't know. Usually when you say I'm still here.
Or he says count him. So as member, I guess.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were trying to remind me that, hey, I'm still here. Because I know I'm supposed to go to On Top of the World.
Yeah.
Somebody I know, well, I don't personally know them, but they've been following our channel for a long time, ended up buying a house up there. They didn't buy a house here. And they invited us to come up and do some video. And they said we'd go out and have some lunch or something around there. And I can video a lot of stuff. I want to do that. I really do. It just seems like everything just gets in the way. Like this RV, getting things fixed on it and getting it ready to go. And then we got the closet. By the way, should I video my closet being redone before we get too far? Because I'm doing some of the work myself now, getting ready for it. Would you be interested in seeing another closet? Ours is smaller than the other closet thing that we done. So I don't really know how this is going to work out myself because I don't want our closet to be so narrow that you have to go in sideways to get your clothes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I was worried about that.
Yeah.
And he said no. He told us how wide they were and how wide our shelves are compared to the two. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out. Plus, we ordered doors to go on the whole back wall on part of the closet organizer. There's going to be some kind of doors.
There's drawers at the bottom and then doors at the top.
Okay. So I don't know anything about that. There's a lot I don't know of how it's going to look. And if you want me to video it, let me know now during the chat. I'm not going to go with emails. I'm going to go what you say right here, right now. If you want me to video it, I'll set it up. And like cleaning out the closet and tearing things off the wall, I can video that. But probably what I'll do is I'll speed the video up through that where we're running around like chickens with our heads cut off because that's a boring thing. Nobody cares about how to take a shelf off a wall. You know, I might show a small segment, then I'll speed it up. See what I'm getting at? And then when he gets here, then I'll start videoing that and editing that for you to show you. And then the final product, of course, we decided 2 days. He was going to do it all in one day. He said, I got to start at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday because next Wednesday is WNL. And I don't want to have to sacrifice anything there, and I hope I don't. And I just know that somewhere along the line I'm going to forget something. But anyway, I said, so he said, I'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys know me. I don't get up early. So that means I got to get up at 7 to have things ready for him by 8. I said, man, that's really, I said, that's just going to screw me up to no end. He said, that's what I got to do to get it done in one day. He said, normally, he said, I don't start till about 10 or 11 o'clock. So I got to thinking, I said, well, why don't we do that? How about we start at 11 o'clock to whenever, because I'll be up. Whenever you want to leave, you leave. I don't care. And then on Tuesday, can you finish up? But say if you start at 11 o'clock Tuesday till whenever, and then finish up. And then while you're doing that, though, I'll probably be in the studio, in and out, doing work. And he said, yeah. He said, I can do it that way. He said, because I don't need you for anything. He said, you just stay in there and do what you got to do. And he said, if I need to move anything, he said, I'll just move it. I said, okay. So that's what we decided to do. It'll be a 2-day thing.
Nice. Thanks for telling me. Tammy Ferguson says she's a YouTube member. Yes.
Who?
Tammy Ferguson.
Oh, but she's a moderator. See, moderator takes precedent over your YouTube membership. The only way I can tell, I have to look really close. Next to your wrench, you got one of my YouTube members' badges right there.
Okay.
So now I know. But until then, when I see blue, when I got my phone down like that, I see the blue, I know moderators are here. But I know a lot of my moderators are YouTube members. I just can't keep them straight in my head.
Hi, Tony K. And Golf Breeze 236 is what designates a YouTube member.
Joining. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
There's a join button.
This is subscribe because that's free.
Yeah, subscribe.
But then to join will cost you.
Yeah, if you want to be a YouTube member, it's 99 cents a month. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And just I don't know exactly where. I got my phone open, so I can't tell you. But somewhere below the video, there's a join button. Or if you go to your laptop, it's easier. There's a big join button. And then you just click on that, and it'll take you right straight there. It just hits there's 3 levels, I think. 99 cents, $5, and maybe something else. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But you can join for 99 cents a month. And you get some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't see on YouTube. The one thing I can guarantee you for 99 cents a month, anything that I do put on there, like the news on Friday, if you like that, it's all commercial free. You'll not see a commercial on there. And you'll not see me do a commercial. This is irritating, I think, to most people that a guy will have a YouTube channel, and I'm not going to mention names, and then they start talking about, hey, I want to thank my sponsor. I want to thank this guy, that guy. And you know, if you get one of these, and they do that all the time because that company's giving them something for free, and I just don't trust them to start with. And then the second thing is when he gets done with his commercial, he says, okay, he said, that's enough of that. And then all of a sudden YouTube comes in with their commercial. So you're sitting there going, Jesus, how many commercials do I have to listen to? So I got to be honest with you. I quit subscribing to a couple of my big RV channels that I used to watch all the time. And Nomadic Fanatic's getting on the fence. He does his own commercials. He has a lot of YouTube commercials because he's so popular that, you know, you got to draw the line somewhere.
Okay.
And he doesn't even offer a membership with commercial-free stuff. I do. So anything I put on my Patreon page for Patreon members, anything I put on my YouTube channel for YouTube members, is all commercial-free. I feel like for what they pay, that's the least I can do.
And Lawrence says South Padre is another big spring break destination. Yeah, it is. But we haven't had any problems down there. You know, it's they stay in a certain area, and we just don't go there. You know, we don't go on the beach where the kids are running around half naked. But something they do have down there that I think is the coolest thing is they have these bollards which it's a crochet cap that they put on the what do they call those wood pylons around the water?
Huh?
The wood pylons they have around the water on the beach to keep the cars from going in. They have a name for them. Anyhow.
A barrier.
Yeah, barrier. Bollards, I think is what they're called. But like I said, they have little crocheted things that go on those bollards.
Some lady from France.
Well, now they're getting more people around there getting to do
but
it.
she started that.
Yeah.
The story about her, a lady I think lived there, went to France, vacation or something. And in France, I guess that's a normal thing, where they put these barricade poles in the ground, and they're like, I don't know, 4 feet up from the ground, and they're buried. It keeps you from driving too far out on the beach. Anyway, and so in France, I guess they were decorating them poles with different things, and she thought that was a cute idea. So when she came back to Rockport, she started doing that. She was knitting these little things that would slide over them. They have like faces on them and eyeballs and a hat. You know, these funny things she would knit. And then I guess some other people in town thought, well, that's kind of cool. So they started doing it.
Yeah, they have all the football teams now.
Yeah.
They even have one that has the Queen of England. They have one that recognizes her. They're just so cool. If we get a chance, we'll take some pictures of it while we're there.
The thing that's cool about it is this beach goes on for miles.
Yeah.
And these things are everywhere.
Yeah.
And nobody there steals them. You don't have that problem there.
No.
Don't you find that ironic? People here, they'll steal your golf cart. Nobody steals them things down there.
Joyfully Living Life says, moving to TV in October. Everyone we tell tries to inform us of the rumors. How do you respond?
I tell them to get their head out of their ass so they could breathe easier. Because it's really, all stupid. Yeah. Anybody that keeps believing this shit, that's never been here, it just gets on my nerves. It's been debunked 100 times. There's been news reports showing exactly how these rumors got started. And there's another one. Somebody started this. And I don't know. And I got to tell you, I think there's a couple of YouTube channels here. They promote this stuff because it's clickbait. Like there's supposed to be some kind of a nudist club, the new nudist club here.
Yeah, that's the new rumor.
That's the new
nudist
rumor.
Colony.
You know, there's a certain part of the villages now that's a nude colony. Yeah. That's bullshit. I'm cussing a lot, ain't I?
Yes, you are.
It's that trucker coming out of me.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. And the only reason why these YouTubers are posting stuff like that on their little thumbnail saying, nudist colony in the villages, that's clickbait. You're going to click on that to see what they're going to say about that. Yeah. And I'm here to tell you that's all crap. There's no such thing. And I don't even know how these things get started myself, but people need to stop this stuff because it just gives us a bad reputation.
But now, you know, there's 140,000 people. So, yeah, there's bound to be a couple Lulus here, no doubt. But the rest of most everybody here,
probably from
like
New
us,
York.
They're just families that families that are living out their years in and enjoying them. You know, we're not doing anything kinky.
Did you hear what I said? Village's chief. I didn't say it real loud
Oh, okay.
because if I did, she'd hear it and she'd scold me for it. You shouldn't say that. Hey, if they can't take a joke, what can I tell you?
Okay. Yeah, and spring break timing does depend on the school because they all, I mean, city schools lets out at a certain time, county schools let out at a different time, and then colleges let out. So it's kind of, you know, you really don't, the whole month, you're going to expect some kids around.
Somebody was asking about, here it is. Laura Lamp says, is Fort Lauderdale still a big spring break destination? It used to be. Yeah, it did used to be. You know, to be honest with you, I don't hear about that much anymore. I'm sure there's a certain amount of college kids that do go down there.
They've clamped down on them a lot because they had some problems.
They passed a bunch of laws down there about certain things, and I don't know what the laws are. I don't live down there, but I don't think spring breakers there like they used to be. They've moved up here.
They're in Panama City.
They're in Panama City,
Yeah.
but a new area now is Destin.
Yeah.
Destin, Florida. I'm hearing about that area a lot. So I think, and I'm not sure where Destin is compared to Panama
Not
City,
far.
but I'm thinking that area right there, the Emerald Coast,
Mhm.
I think that area right there is starting to become the new spring break area.
Yeah, and South Beach. Yes, South Beach is also. But like I said, they're not as big as they were.
Ray Perkowski says he just got out of the shower, so he's not an early riser either.
Yeah, I know. Y'all just laugh. You know, so I get up before the sun comes up, but it's just natural for me. It's normal.
Kathy B in a 603 says, I'm a Patriot member. Yes, you are.
And Gulf Breeze, welcome to appreciation level.
Let me ask you, Kathy. You're usually right to the point. I don't know what level you're on. Makes no difference really. But let's say you was on what is the lowest level you can go on Patreon? Like $2 a month, I think is the lowest I could go. Do you think being a Patreon member is worth it? Seriously, just put it on here. Whether you like it, whether you don't like it, I don't care. That's how I learned.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth $2 a month to be a Patreon member? Because I know I'm erratic there. I don't post things on a certain day every week, and I don't post anything regular there every week. 1 week I might post 2 or 3 things about I don't even know, whatever. And everything on there you get usually a day earlier than if it's going to be on YouTube, like the news. Patreon members get the news commercial free on Thursday. The news on YouTube will come out on Friday with commercials. So there's the difference there on one thing, and there's other things there too. Like they get a lot more true and false stuff if you enjoy them than anybody does. I think they're up to something like number 18, true or false, something like that. So is it worth it to you? Seriously, and I have my reasons for asking that.
William Rizzo says the rumors are to keep the stupid people out.
Boy, you would think so, wouldn't you?
Okay.
You know, just look at all these different YouTube channels around here and how much golf cart driving they do. I don't do very much of those golf cart rides anymore because after a while, I mean, I don't know. It just seems to me that you guys got to be getting bored watching that because everybody does them. So, of all the different travels and the walks that people do at the squares and all this and that, how much of any of this rumors that you know about? How many have you actually seen? How many? I've seen none. I want somebody to take their camera. I want you to take a picture of this nudist colony here in the Villages. Take one. Dare you. Send it to me. I dare you, because you're not going to find one.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
No, I didn't see him. Yeah, Rick Anderson said if you watch Skip's News on Fridays, they still have a few left of the crazies.
Nuts. Oh, yeah, they're here, especially during snowbird season.
Well, so I said there's 140,000 people here, so there's bound to be a few.
Yeah, but some of these people are
but
killing.
The rumors are, you know.
They'll run over you in a golf cart. They'll run over you in a car.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just nuts.
I remember when we was in Biloxi. I think it was a Jefferson Davis Museum,
Oh, the lady that started
Yeah.
yelling at me?
Yeah, the lady started yelling at him because she.
I didn't even know her.
Yeah, we said we lived in the village, and she. Oh my God, that's where all that. That's the STD capital. And Skip tried to tell her, no, that's just a rumor.
So she started yelling at me.
She started yelling. I
said, ma'am, I said, who are you going to believe? Some internet story you read? Or are you going to believe that somebody that lives there and been going there for 25 years? I'm telling you, it's not true. She said, oh, yes, it is. And I know it's true.
Yeah.
Got in my face.
Yeah.
To the point where
you had to leave.
I left. I didn't even do, I didn't do the tour that I paid for.
Yeah.
I left.
Yeah. And,
Laura says her younger sister and daughter go to Destin every August for vacation before my niece goes back to school. Yeah, Destin is becoming a real popular place.
It's a beautiful area. The beaches there are wonderful. They really are.
It's been more and more popular every year, and it's been like that for years. I can remember when I still worked. There was a guy that I worked with, him and his wife. Their kids are all grown up. That they went to Destin one year. He came back and was telling me all about it because he knew I came to Florida a lot. I said, I've never been there. I don't know anything about the place. I know Panama City is a spring break capital at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, oh, man, he said, Destin's so much better. And until this day, I've never been there. But I know it's getting really popular.
Oh, and Kathy B says she likes watching without commercials.
But that ain't what I asked. Kathy, answer the question that I asked. Do you think being a Patreon member is worth, let's say, the $2 or $5 a month that you have to pay? That's the question.
Okay. Yeah, Grandpa Eric, I've always gotten up early. I just, like I said, my biological clock says, it's time to get up.
Kathy B says that's the first she's heard about a nudist colony. Trust me, Kathy, there's nothing to it. I'm telling you, some of these YouTubers down here are reaching deep in their pocket, pulling out these things that are not rumors as clickbait. And that's how rumors get started, though.
Yeah.
What other rumor was it we heard here a few months ago? And we both laughed. I never heard of it. What the heck? Well, we've heard all the old stuff.
Yeah.
The sneaker collars and the, what do they call them things? The
scrunchies,
loofahs. Forget all that. That's all crap.
Gold shoes.
Yeah, that's all crap. And obviously the STD thing's crap. But there was another one. What the heck was it? See, I don't pay no attention to them, and it's all. I don't even know what it was now, because I know that 90% of them are crap.
Yeah.
And not to say that privately somebody could have a party in their house where some of these weird things might be going on, but the rumors that they start makes it sound like there's a whole neighborhood that does this, and it's not true.
Well, like I said, most of these are family people, and they've come down here because the weather's better, and they want to enjoy the rest of their life. Even if this is God's wedding room, we're going to enjoy it while we're here. But not to that point. I mean.
Kathy B's yelling at me now. She says, yes, I do, Skip.
She says she likes the true and false too. So she thinks it's worth it.
I'm always doing something different to try to be different than every other channel. So the true or false thing is something I came up with. Actually, I'm subscribed to a guy, and if you look in the description box down below, you'll see his channel's down there. It's called, what the hell is his channel called?
Don't ask me.
He tells stories. And the guy started out a long time ago, and he struggled. And I'm always trying to learn from somebody else's channel. He got stuck like at 10 or 15,000 subscribers, and he got stuck there for years, even though he was putting in a lot of work. And I could sympathize with that. And so I kept watching and see what he might do differently. And he was, you could see he was playing with things. Like one of his little 1 minute, no, I shouldn't say 1 minute, one of his 10-minute things that has nothing to do with what he normally did. It was called, Did You Know? Do You Know? Did You Know? Something like that. And it'd be like these 5-minute little excerpts like, it'd be something silly like, did you know that Paul Harvey was the son of a guy that was the king of England or something like that? It was just stuff like that. And that's when his channel started to pick up a little bit. People was watching those. Well, when they watched those, while they were on his channel, they started watching some of his older stuff of the half-hour stories of things. And then they shared those videos with people that they knew. And there's a share button below every video. I've got them too. And so they were sharing them. And so by spreading his shares around to different people, in 1 year, he went from like 10,000 subscribers to 300,000. And the last time I saw his show where he talked about it, I think it was last month, he received 300,000 subscribers in 1 month.
Oh my gosh.
That's how fast he's growing now. He's well over 1 million subscribers. And it all started with those little shorts that he started putting in, which gave me the idea, maybe I should do that. Maybe that would help. But my problem with the shorts are, I really don't put them to where everybody can see them. I put them on Patreon because it's something different and it's special. I put a few of them on YouTube members, not a lot. And I think the only one I've actually put on YouTube was the 1 minute or 1 minute and a half short about I forgot his name, Harold Schwartz, how he got started, where he got started, some of the things in his past history, and when he come here and all this and that, I put it on there. That's the sample of what they are. But I've never done that much on YouTube, and I keep thinking maybe I should. I mean, because Patreon doesn't really generate the subscribers. That's just members of people that's already been a subscriber and decided to be a Patreon member. So I'm always perplexed about what to do and how to do and when to do. And so when I'm mixed up and I don't really know which direction to go, I generally speaking, I won't do anything because I don't want to make the wrong move.
Okay. Marcia says Destin is 30 to 40 miles from Panama City, and that's where her sister lives in Santa Rosa Beach, which is between Destin and Panama City. It's a nice area. It really is. And I don't know if the kids has done too much damage there because I haven't heard about it if they have, but I know it was a big deal. And I think it's their sand white beaches. The beaches are different in the southern part of Florida than they are in the northern part. Believe it or not, I didn't know this myself until I actually seen them. But the ones in the Fort Myers area and down south, they've got a lot of it's regular sand. It's finer, but
They
and
tell
they've
me
got a lot of
they say
shells.
it's like sugar.
Yeah, but like up there it is. The white beaches in the northern part of Florida are, like I said, everybody flocks to those because it's beautiful.
Yeah, and the water's got an emerald color to it. And once again, I've been to Panama City, but I've never been to the beach.
Kevin K says he just joined the Patreon level. And,
Hey, thanks, Kevin.
So I enjoy it.
So now you have access to stuff down there that you probably haven't seen. Go down and watch it. Also, your access now to the pick me buttons and things like that they use on the WNL show. You have access to those. Nobody else does.
Yeah.
Where the village's chief says, I think we can all agree this is not the right demographics for a nudist colony, unless it's a blind nudist colony. You're thinking the way I think. You know, who wants to go see an 80-year-old woman naked? I'm not making fun. I'm just simply saying, no guy that I know, unless he's blind.
And what can't get up can't get out.
Ooh.
And Kathy B says that's the first time she's heard of a nudist area. There's always something. There's always something going around. Like I said, the gold shoes, the scrunchies, the loofahs, all that kind of stuff. That come from a long, long time ago. And the STD capital, that was a long, long time ago also.
Yeah, that goes back like 20 years ago.
But I mean, they're always making up something new.
That basically came from a book a guy wrote, and then there was a movie called Leisureville. And it all started from that. They just made this stuff up. It all started as a made-up movie.
Well, Leisureville was a book. It wasn't a movie.
But they made the movie from that book. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. A guy sent me a link to it here a while back, and I watched it, and I said, yeah, that's the movie that came from they've made like 5 different movies based on the villages here,
Yeah.
and one of them was made. It's not from the book, but the movie was. I don't know how to put it. The movie was inspired by that book.
Oh, okay. Well, they always make us look pretty idiot, you know.
It sells books.
It sells
That's
books.
it.
But like I said, because we're the fastest growing here, you know, it's,
I always said 147,000 people can't be wrong.
well, um, but it's getting crowded, people.
Who's retiring? Kathy B says, I'm retiring in June. Hope to find a place in the villages. I've rented a few times. Haven't found the right village yet. Take your time, Kathy. Make sure, first of all, I'm not no economic channel at all, but I'm just saying, make sure you find one that's easily affordable. Because one thing you don't want in retirement that I've learned, here's the key to a good retirement. Listen to me, people, from an idiot that has had no training in anything, but I've made every mistake in this world that I've learned. The key to a good, successful, stress-free retirement is no debt. Seriously, if you got no debt, you don't have near the worries as people that when they talk about cutting their Social Security, cutting their Medicare, the insurance rates are going to go up. That's because they got a lot of bills and they don't know how they're going to fit all this in. Just saying.
Gobsmack says, do the restaurants in the village have nude and non-nude seating?
Yeah. Indoor, outdoor.
Asking for a friend.
Yeah. Hey, now I want to ask you something for a friend of mine. Yeah. I know how that works.
Yeah.
But take your time on buying a house in the village to try to help slow your search down a little bit, maybe. As I've always said, know what it is you want to do here if you can do that. Because everybody, when they come here, for the first year or two, they do everything. They go to every club. They go to every activity. They go to every square. They go to every, what did you have last week that you went to? The sales thing at Spanish Springs or something. Art.
Oh, the craft fair.
They go to all these
shows,
things.
Art shows.
They go to the art shows. They go to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Strawberry Festival. They got to do it all.
Oh, yeah.
After a couple of years, they will settle down. I've been to that, didn't care for it. I've been to this, I don't like it. I tried that once. I can't do that. It wears me out. I can't do that. So they start settling down. Once they settle down, then what they do at that point is what they should have been looking for when buying a house. I do go to the swimming pools 4 times a week, but my closest swimming pool, I got to take my car down there because some people don't have a golf cart here. So if you know kind of what you're going to do on a regular basis, you know you're going to do it, then just try to buy the house that's fairly close with a golf cart, fairly close to what it is you know you want to do.
Yeah. And Laura, you asked Kathy B if she had a countdown calendar. Do you have a countdown calendar? I know you've told us when you're retiring. I've never been that precise about anything. So I never had a countdown calendar, but and Kathy B says she does 20 weeks.
Ooh, Chris says he was at Destin 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a big game changer there for spring breakers. Maybe they don't want them. Says spring break will be quiet as they have banned alcohol on the beaches for the break. That don't mean anything. Those kids will break the rules. They don't know rules. They don't look the rules up. They were there last year, and they're going to go there this year and do the exact same thing. The only difference is going to be they'll have to have more police working the beaches. Because even at Panama, they arrest them every year. Driving drunk in town. Girls think they go to the beach and get naked. Alcohol is in play here, right? But they have arrests every year. Like here. Everybody knows that using your cell phone while driving a car is against the law, but they still do. Everybody knows that operating a vehicle here while drinking is against the law. Obviously, they still do. So just because they banned alcohol on the beach don't mean that they're not going to go down there with a closed sippy cup with a straw in it.
Yeah. We used to keep our wine in the cooler in the back of the car.
Yeah.
We just go get it when we needed it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I was young once. This is what I would do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess more people have a countdown calendar. Dale McDermott says 101 days. So, and Rick Meredith said he retired March of 2021, and he's been considering various locations in Florida. You know, there's a lot of places in Florida that are nice for retirees. And I said, this one has so many outside activities to do, but a lot of people don't want to do outside activities. You know, they're happy to sit on the porch, and drink their iced tea and watch the neighbors go by.
Or talk on YouTube.
Or talk
sit
on
here
YouTube.
and watch the neighbors go by.
Yeah. So, you know, the village is in for everybody. But like I said, we've had a wonderful life here. And I
Things
think
are changing, though.
things are changing, but they always do. Nothing stays the same.
Things are changing in my mind where sometimes I question whether I still want to be here. I got to tell you, I've always been honest with you guys. I'm being honest with you now. It's still a great place to live. I got nothing against this place whatsoever. But for my peace of mind and my things that I see, there are things here that one is you don't really know your neighbors. You don't. 2 years later, they sell their house and they move. Somebody else moves in. Now I got somebody I don't even know if I like or not. Well, the other neighbor that I had, I kind of liked that guy, and now he's gone. And people die all the time, which I knew that coming here.
Yeah.
But it's the older you get, it happens more and more. It's just things like that I just don't care for.
Yeah. And Kathy B says the salesperson kept pushing to Luna. They do. I mean,
They push the new homes.
They're pushing it right now. The new area is Newell. They're pushing the homes in Newell, and they're advertising homes in the Sawgrass Grove area, which that's a big area.
I've also seen in the news this morning where Wildwood commissioners now are working with the developer and going to start pushing Middleton.
Yeah.
Is that a neighborhood or is that the town?
No, that's the neighborhood, and that's the neighborhood that's not age restricted. That's where that's where
the children are going to live.
Yeah, yeah. And I said, so, you know, it's getting big. There's no doubt about it. It's getting bigger.
You know, people think that I'm being cruel when I say I don't think kids ought to be living here at all, and I don't. When I say kid, I'm talking about kids 4, 5, 6 years old that's got to go to school. There's got to be a bus to come pick them up or something. They shouldn't be here at all. This is a retirement community. This ain't an all-age area. And they say, well, you know, they got to have these people to work there. That's an excuse they use to make more money for the developer. He's the one building those homes in Middleton. He's the one that's going to be selling the homes in Middleton. And the more opportunities he gives everybody else to buy, the more money he makes. That's how that works. Because listen, I worked in Indianapolis. I didn't live there, but I went there every day and went to work. Sue worked in Marion, Indiana for 25 years. We didn't live there. So there's no reason to say that they need more workforce here. So we need to build more houses for them in a retirement community to work there. No, we don't. They can build them over in Wildwood or someplace over there, and they can drive to work. It's what, 5 miles? They don't need to be here. Does that sound cruel? I'm sorry, but that's how I feel.
Okay, nice. And they are building apartments all the way around us.
Massive apartments.
Yeah. But the single family homes, I said that's what they're intending to put in Middleton. And that will be close to the new school that's going in down there. And it'll be close to the hospital. And you know yourself, it's hard to get good medical attention here is because they're coming from Orlando. You know, I mean, the doctors and nurses, they're driving all the way here from Orlando or Ocala. And so, yeah, there has to be housing for them.
Build it over in Wildwood.
Well, it is in Wildwood.
They don't need to be inside a retirement community. That's what I'm saying then. That's what I'm saying now. Only person that actually benefits from them being in here is the developer himself. None of us benefit from this. Yeah. None of us.
Well, and I think wherever their location comes up, that's where the best is for them.
It's what's best for the developer. These people with the kids, if they get a decent paying job here, like an administrator or something like that, which I'm assuming that's what they're here for, and if they are getting that, then they could live down there by the town of Royal that they're trying to get rezoned to put a factory or something down there. Well, rezone it for residential in Royal. They probably wouldn't care about that and just build new housing there.
Okay.
Or what's up here? Oxford. Oxford ain't nothing but pasture ground everywhere you look.
Well, Oxford Oaks, they've got one right there.
They could build more.
Well, they can.
I'm
But like I
not
think
I'm
it's,
talking about single family housing.
yeah.
They can build them right up there. Matter of fact, the developer bought Rainy Farm up there off 301. And how many acres is that?
I don't know.
That's a lot of acreage up there.
But like, you know, that area, it won't be attached. But it's in that area, you know.
What do you mean it won't be attached?
It won't be attached. Like,
Sure it
it's
will.
like Oxford Oaks.
Sure it will. Guarantee it
Oh,
will.
Oxford Oaks is
Sure
not
it will.
attached to the villages.
I'm here to tell
Yeah.
you it's going to be just like when he built that place down there by Brownwood over there, them apartments over there. And then he ended up getting all them resident passes. And it started out to where, well, they weren't going to have access. They were going to have their own stuff there. But then they ended up somehow working out a deal where every one of them got a resident pass where they can go anywhere that I go, and they rent. And the truth is, the guy had a point. He said they don't have nothing to lose there. They don't own property here. They're not paying taxes, but yet they have resident passes.
And I understand that went along with the rent. They take that money out.
At first, it was not. He came out with a story saying they were going to have their own amenities there, and they do. They got their own pools, they got their own rec center, they got their own stuff in there, and that's fine. But then all of a sudden, they worked out a deal where he ended up buying or something so many resident passes from another district and handed it out to those people there.
Yeah.
And that was kind of shady, I thought.
And yes, Grandpa Eric, the hospital is still in the plans, and I am not sure if they broke ground on it. I know the school's going to be open in the next year or two, but I don't know if they broke ground on the hospital or not. But it's still in the works, as far as I know. They've not changed their mind about that. It was up in the air about where they were putting it for a long time.
I think COVID kind of put a kibosh to that for a while.
Well, but like I said, it's still going in there.
Yeah, I've never heard them say anything about not doing it. It's always been in the plans. Matter of fact, there might even be a law that I'm not aware of that after so many thousand people, you have to have so many hospitals or something.
And you have to have so many.
I know the police departments are that way. If a town grows, for every so many thousand people, has to be an officer.
So many schools.
So if they hire an officer, that means they got to get a car, they got to get uniforms, they got to get guns, they got to get all this kind of stuff, and that usually means that the budget for the next year is going to go up a little bit because they have to hire this officer. Each officer costs a district something like a neighborhood of $300,000 to get a new officer.
Wrestler says, "Mom, Dad, stop arguing. Baby is trying to sleep."
What baby?
You missed the point.
Oh.
22 months for me until retirement, unless my employer retires me earlier. At least that's her plan for Laura. Well, and Laura, I know at one time you said you couldn't afford to be down here anymore, but don't give up on your plan, because there's the pre-owned homes are negotiable. You look at these new homes, they got a price on them, that's it. But the pre-owned homes are negotiable. And there's several areas around here that you can get a better deal than another. So don't give up on your dream if you want to be here.
Ask yourself a question also, because the demographics here in our surrounding area is changing. Do you have to live in the villages? And what's your reason for saying that I have to live in villages? If it's golf cart travel, then I got no argument, because you can travel, 100 and some miles of golf cart trails to go anywhere you want to go. If that's your main reason, okay. If you say you have to live in the villages because you like to go to the town squares at night, every night, you don't have to live here to do that. Anybody can go to the square. Drive your car down there. There's just Brownwood alone. There's parking down there for 10,000 cars.
Yeah.
Just everybody talks about parking around the square because nobody wants to walk. So, but there's plenty of room to park. You can go to any restaurant here. You can go to any country club here and not live here. They're all open to the public.
Okay.
So if you don't have to live here for whatever your reasons are, you can go to Trailwinds over there, and I guarantee you can buy a brand new house over there, probably 10% less than here, because they're not in the villages.
Yeah.
But they're straight across the road.
Yeah. Or you can go to Spruce Creek or Stonecrest
Yeah,
or Water Oaks.
Water Oaks.
Those are places that's around the villages.
They're right next door.
And I said,
Whoops.
the only thing that you don't, uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
the only thing that you don't get is, I said, you don't have access to the recreation here.
if you make a friend here, they can get you a guest pass.
I
We did it.
There's some kind of rule about what county you're in, so that's not always possible.
Now you don't do it that way. You just tell them my sister's coming in from Indiana and I need a guest pass. Just lie. Everybody lies. Just get your guest pass and give it to her. So I'm just telling you what's going on. Well, anyway, that was our 2-hour warning. It froze up there for a second or two. So we're going to get out of here. I got to go in there and get some more work done in that closet. I'll try to video it if you guys want to. I'll check the chat out. Did anybody say whether they wanted me to video it or not, or nothing?
I didn't see anything about it.
So they don't really want me to do it then. Okay.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you all next Wednesday Night Live, special guest, and we'll also do porch setting before that, as long as it's not raining or 99-mile-an-hour winds out here.
Yeah.
So,
stay with us.
yeah. We'll see you all. Are you still in there? I can't. Can I see you? Are you there?